Hi guys, it's Ismail from Zanko Jewelers back with another watch review. Today we're looking at a brand that we haven't covered much on the channel yet, but a brand I'm excited to do so. Today we'll be looking at not just one, but two of the Vacheron Constantin Historiques 222s. So in front of me today I have the Historiques 222 4200H 222J B935 in the yellow gold, and then I have the other in the stainless steel, which is a newer release and has taken the market by storm. So for a bit of brief history and background on these watches, were released as a contemporary reissue of the original design from 1977 and marked the 222nd anniversary of Vacheron Constantin. So it was only right to release this reference again. These watches perfectly pay homage to Gerald Genter's original designs in the 70s and 80s, having the tonneau block case shape that's synonymous with the AP Royal Oak and the Nautilus of the time as well. So with that being said, I think these watches are positioned as a vintage revival, especially with the market now going towards smaller watches and people really taking a liking to the 37mm and 36mm. This is definitely a revival that best fits that market. So starting off with one of the newer releases, this is the 222A, or otherwise known as a stainless steel with the blue dial. So in terms of the case, it is finished in stainless steel. It has an integrated bracelet and a tonneau block case shape, which is synonymous with the 1970s. The blue is finished in a matte blue, which I think looks beautiful in the sun, but also in darker environments. I think it's quite subtle, but it's the perfect contrast against the stainless steel case. Going closer into the dial, it has again the Maltese cross above the Vacheron Constantin branding, a date window on the right, and 18-karat white gold applied hour markers and hands. They've gone for a very sleek look with this watch, and I think that's a perfect example of an everyday wear. I would even say it's better, for example, than the 16202, but that's just my opinion. If we are flipping the watch around, then they have a sapphire crystal exhibition case back, which allows you to see the beautiful and thin movement of this 222. It also has a triple folding clasp for Vacheron, which I think is beautiful. One thing I do want to make note of is the bracelet. I think it's one of the most beautiful bracelets in the market for a stainless steel piece like this. It's got a very aggressive taper, but I think that makes for a really comfortable wear. And one of the nicer features about this bracelet, I would say, are the hexagonal shapes in between each link. Now going on to the 222J, which is my personal favorite out of the two. It has a full 18-karat yellow gold case with the champagne dial, which is very flush and it's very 1970s. One of the nicer features again is that it does have the yellow gold Maltese cross at the 5 o'clock. That's not contrasted, unlike the stainless steel piece, which I think makes for a very flush watch. Again, it has the integrated bracelet and fluted or grooved bezel, which makes for quite a utilitarian look. Also something, again, which I think you could pull off every day. Although it's a full yellow gold watch, it's quite pale in comparison to, for example, a Rolex Daytona in its tone, so that makes for quite an easy wear. Now, jumping closer into the dial, of course, you have this matte finished champagne color, which is enough of a contrast compared to the rest of the watch to make it stand out. It has yellow gold 18-karat applied hour markers and on the hand as well, with a lime green luminescent coating. Now jumping into the technical specifications of these two watches, they are both 37mm in case size with 7.95mm of case thickness. This makes it one of the thinnest everyday watches on the market today. The closest comparison I could think of is probably the Nautilus 5711 or 5712, which sits around 8 to 9mm. At the heart of these watches is the automatic calibre movement 24552. That movement allows for 40 hours of power reserve, but the functions are left quite simple, as that is the common theme with this watch, is that simplicity is the best. It has a date window at the 3 o'clock with hours and minutes, no sweeping seconds, just like the 16202, for example, which I think adds to the minimalism and uniqueness of this watch. One of the more notable features of this watch on the exhibition case back is that you will see a Geneva seal, and the movement and watch is water resistant to 50 meters, which is more than substantial for everyday use. So one thing to note in today's market is that you can pick up this 222J in full yellow gold for only 20k more than the stainless steel piece. So it really comes down to the residual value. The way I would see it panning out is that this stainless steel piece will remain over its list price, but as it's a newer release, we'll see if that comes down over time. This 222J, however, I will say is going to maintain its current market price. I don't really see that being changed unless they raise the retail price, which would then affect the secondary market. Other comparisons on the market today would definitely be the Rolex Land Dweller, especially the 36mm, which is a brand new release of this year. It retails around £12,350, but on the secondary market now for around £30,000 or late £20,000. So that is also for a stainless steel piece. You can pick that up in rose gold, but the premiums are much higher than the 222J at around £70,000 currently. But I think that will come down in the near future. So one of the things I would love to know, and if you could leave a comment down below, is what do you prefer, the Vacheron 222 or the new Rolex Land Dweller? In conclusion, I think these Historiques 222s are probably one of the best 37mm you can have on the market. They're uber thin, easy to wear, they look classy, but they double up with a sportiness that I think makes the perfect balance of an everyday watch. As mentioned, we haven't covered much Vacheron on the channel before, but I am going to say that we probably will be doing a lot more, and that's because our client base and in general the watch market has really caught on to the fact that Vacheron is one of the oldest watch houses and demands the respect of the watches that they craft because they are beautiful. So if you would like to see more Vacheron, remember to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next review.